Hi there, and welcome back to another edition of Scale Up Radio, the podcast inspired by the entrepreneurial scale up system and designed to make navigating our scale up journeys a little bit more easy by learning from each other's experiences. I'm Granger Forson, and on this episode of the show, I'm joined by Mark Day of Battle Bootcamp. Today, we'll explore the transformative power of military discipline in the fitness franchising world, Mark's journey from the barracks to the boardroom, and how Battle Bootcamp is pioneering a movement that merges fitness and well-being with meaningful entrepreneurship. To ensure you don't miss any inspirational future episodes, do subscribe to Scale Up Radio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, you can nominate a guest for Scale Up Radio if you know someone with an interesting scale-up journey. You can find out how in the show notes. So let's now dive into the inspiring journey of leadership, adaptability, franchise building, and community with Mark Day. Hello, Mark Day. Welcome to Scale Up Radio. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, Granger. How are you? Thank you very much for having me. Like Granger said, I am Mark Day. I am the co-founder and owner of a business called Battle Bootcamp.
Exciting. Battle Bootcamp. What a brilliant name. So tell us about it. What it's about? How help your clients?
So Battle Bootcamp is both an outdoor and indoor group fitness provider. Our USP, I suppose, is that we are all either current or ex-serving military physical training instructors. And we help our clients in a number of ways, predominantly, obviously, fitness. We also look after their nutrition, and we try and really give hints and tips on everyday coping strategies, mental sort of outlook, and yeah, just being a person that can cope with everyday lives and struggles, both physically and mentally.
Oh, brilliant! Well, that's a really powerful element that we all could do with. So, give us a good, quick understanding. How long you've been going? How big are you now?
Okay, so we started back in 2019, and we opened our first venue in Tamworth in the Midlands, and then we quickly opened a few more venues, Cheltenham being the second of the venues that we opened. We now have 8 venues around the UK, and we're looking to expand a little bit more this year. Wow.
Brilliant. 8 venues since 2019. After the pandemic, during the pandemic, what's sort of triggered that?
So yeah, we started actually in 2019, and then, as I mentioned, I actually look after the Cheltenham venue here. So I started at the back end of 2019, and we were then very quickly into a pandemic, and we opened other venues quite quickly as well. And what we found is that overnight we went from an outdoor fitness provider to an online fitness provider.
Right. Yeah.
Which was quite a challenge.
Yes. Yeah. We'll definitely get to that pivot point that a lot of business had to go through, I'm sure, in the conversation. So, staff, do you have permanent staff, part-time staff? You know, how many sort of members of the team are there?
So we have 2 co-founding members, myself and Gary, and our model is that we franchise our venues out. The intent that we always set out with, that we still maintain today, is that we just want to help other fellow veterans run businesses and live a lifestyle that they are happy with, you know. So we try and make everything as financially comfortable as possible for them. So yeah, that's our model. And then within each franchise, the venue owners will then hire their own staff.
Okay. Franchise model. Brilliant. Yes. I'm a franchise myself, so I know that well. So fitness, yeah, nutrition, coping strategies. You know, what do you strive to be really good at? Why do the customers keep coming back to you?
So I think we really do strive to be good at your friend on the ground, if you like. I think in the military, myself, I served in the military 23 years. You grow a great soft skill set that that many people don't potentially have the opportunity in everyday life to sort of tap into. So, especially during lockdown, veterans are used to being confined to certain spaces, and it's not, it's unheard of that the general public are confined to their homes, which the situation that we found ourselves in. So we were really able to advise and talk, and from an informed place about that, and we were able to offer advice and ways, coping strategies, ways to get around this. So we're progress focused. That's our sort of main mantra, be that in fitness or be that in a mental capacity.
Progress focus. I like that. That's a very interesting thought that we all need. Yeah, and actually, progress is how we grow, really, isn't it? From a child into adulthood, etc., and throughout adulthood. So yeah, lovely. So there are a lot of fitness gyms out there. There are a lot of fitness people, etc. What makes you different, do you think? What helps to sort of help the businesses grow and thrive as they've been successful?
Again, I think that experience from that you glean from the military is second to none. It really is. Myself personally, I'll just give you my personal example, is that especially within group fitness, not many people get the chance to practice as often as you potentially would in the military. As a physical training instructor in the military, I would take group fitness for large groups of people every single day, generally using very little equipment. So, we don't need anything, and we can deliver this fitness absolutely anywhere, be on the spot or be moving around a local park, be indoors or be in a smaller private venue. And it was quite common that I would have to lead physical training on any given day for people or groups from around 50 to around 600 people, with myself and maybe two other physical training instructors. So once you get that experience and you get that courage in order to deliver that session with conviction and in a very thoughtful, creative manner, I don't think you generally would get that opportunity had you not have served in the military in that environment. And then serving in the military operationally around the world, as well as being a soldier, you are also a physical training instructor. So you could find yourself taking physical training for the troops in the desert. I quite often did that in Kuwait, in Oman, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, wherever that may be,
Yeah. Okay. That's brilliant. I like that. So you've taken a skill set that you developed in the army, a really powerful one around motivation, about progression, about fitness. You've added nutrition and mindset to that. So you've built a model that helps do it, and you built a franchise. So if I'm a franchisee, I'm thinking about this. I'm an ex-veteran. I'm looking for something that I can own myself, to run myself. How do we get in contact? How do we start with you, and how do you help us through that thinking process of taking on a franchise and running a franchise, which is different to if I just get a job in a business?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So fortunately, when I left the military, I after a couple of years having tried a few different roles, I quickly found myself as the central regional manager for a business called British Military Fitness, which was the largest sort of military provider of fitness in the UK at the time. I quickly sort of moved through the ranks of that business, if you like, and ended up as the head of operations. And I worked closely with my now co-founding colleague, Gary, who was the executive marketing director. So we built a very specific skill set and got a very specific skill set within that business ourselves. So as well as climbing through the ranks of the British Army and reaching the top of that, reaching the pinnacle of every soldier's career, which was a warrant officer class 1. You learn a lot of operational leadership techniques, and you gain that skill set. So I think one of the first things that when people come to us and say that I'm interested in getting on board or finding out more information, what we can do is we can guide them in the very best way, from a very informed place that, again, very few people have the experience and skill set, or depth of experience and skill set, that both myself and Gary have grown over the years. So it's really, really easy. We look at their location. We do all of the geographical groundwork for them, if you like, and then we help them start their business from nothing up into wherever they want to take that. We really sort of do a lot of hand holding, looking after the operational marketing side, social media side, all the creative, all the online content, all the website, all of that stuff, all of the insurance, all of the risk assessments, all of the groundwork for them. And all they have to do is just deliver the product that we give them to deliver. So it's just a really simple case of them learning the product and then delivering that product as closely as possible to those. It's not hard, fast rules. You must do this, you must do this, you must do this. This is what we suggest. If you don't do this and you fail, then we need to re-look at what you're delivering, and then we'll try and go again.
And so you're taking someone who's been in the services, they've decided this is what they want to do. You're helping them create their business. You're giving them all the activities they need to do for social, running the business, the operational stuff, and then teaching them. So you're almost giving them a business in a box for that, which is what a great franchise should do. So very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why franchising? Why did you and your business partner decide franchising rather than build, new areas and take on staff, etc., for that type of thinking?
I think, again, that was just to facilitate our lifestyle. I think it would have been a much more challenging, hands-on task had we gone the other way, where we were employing people. I think, as you probably know, Grange, starting any business from the ground, it takes a brave step. You're throwing all your eggs into one basket, or so you feel, and you're putting all of the faith in yourself. And I suppose one thing I spoke about, we learn a great soft skill set in the military, and I'm sure most people would consider us courageous, but it's still, what is new to us is starting a new business and taking that step. So when we leave the forces and we come into Civvy Street, that transition for us is a hard step anyway. But to sort of put all that faith into yourself and say, I'm going to start my own business, and if it fails, it's all on me. If it succeeds, it's all on me. It's quite a big step to have. So I think, just as a sort of safety net for ourselves, really, I think we opted for what seemed at the time the easier model and go for the franchise option.
And I'll pick up on that. You thought was an easier model, so yeah, great. So what have you learned then that's been tough and hard, and how have you got over those things?
So I think what limits the franchise model, if you like, is we have had a few people come on board that probably wasn't the right people to take on a franchise of that size, and to outdoor fitness, indoor fitness, I suppose any business, it is a step into the unknown, and it's a big step as well. And And some people, I suppose some people are just not cut out for certain roles, that they're not quite at that level yet, and maybe have a few steps to take in order to build that. And once you're out on a limb, if you like, running a franchise business, it really is on you, and there's only so much that we can do as owners to help. We can put all of the systems in place. We could put all of the framework in place. We could put all of the apps, the member booking app, do all of the things that we need to do. But then the delivery of the product, we can't be on the ground 24/7 to ensure that the delivery of the product is correct. So I think one of the lessons that we have learned is, in the franchise business, as in any business, you need the right people to take on the franchise, the franchisees, if you like, or the venue. You need the right venue owners, the right type of people, in order to take your product and make it a success.
Yeah. So have you had to evolve then your method of selecting and thinking about who is right and who's wrong?
Yes, we have. I think we're just a little bit more cautious and a little bit more bold with our words when we take on people who are interested in coming on board. You know, we are now able to speak a little bit more openly, a little bit more frankly, a little bit more informed about the failures that we've suffered. But I think from those failures, you know, we've learned lessons, and we can pass those lessons on to current people who are coming on board and future people that potentially want to come on board.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning from those mistakes is a very important skill that everybody needs, but business owners need very much so, because we have to do it quickly as well. So yeah, very interesting. So selection of franchisees is key. Absolutely. Anything else that you've learned along the journey as a franchisor that you could share?
Yeah, I think be courageous, be fearless. You know, I try to take the mindset of, when you're going into business, if it's your first time at trying to start a business and you've come from a secure financial place, you know, we all have needs, we all live, we all have built up a standard of living, and you live within your means, of course. But what is quite difficult sometimes is to cut back from those means, and the fear of having that forced on you. Sometimes the fear of failure is a big hurdle to overcome. So I think just being a little bit brave and trying to remember that if it goes wrong, it goes wrong, and there are plenty of jobs out there that you can just go and get. So don't be afraid to fail, but planning and preparation, I think, is a key to success.
Yeah, no, that's very true. You know, I talk to my clients about, thinking about risk, and what I say is, risk thinking. Well, all you need to do is sit down, write down everything you think that might go wrong, write 2 or 3 things that you could do if that happens, fold up that piece of paper, stick it on a shelf, and now get on with it. Build the business. Because if something does go wrong, you've already thought about it, but don't worry about it anymore, because at least you've got some ideas of how you get out. So that's an important aspect, that bit of planning, thinking about risk, thinking about that, doing that. So
I agree.
So you've been building this franchise now over a few years. You and your business partner start off. You've got a culture. You've got your way, the way that you see things. You build this working practices, and you build this the culture around you. As you've taken on franchisees, and yes, some have successful, some haven't been. How do you build a culture across the franchises that reflect your branding, your structures, your way? How do you keep everybody involved and build the culture across a franchise?
So I think what's quite interesting is that my business partner is an absolute perfectionist, more so than I am. I strive to be as good as I can, but he's an absolute perfectionist with many things, with everything, and initially that was potentially a struggle. Some things that I would go, let's let that go. He was like, no, I don't want to let that go. Let's really go for that. Let's really, tighten down on this branding or whatever it may be. But as a result, I think both of our approaches have allowed us to build a really good, strong looking brand. We have a skill set that has allowed us to, build all of the back end functionality, be it CRM, all of the SEO. We rank top on all of Google searches. Bootcamp near me, even if we're not near you, we probably will come top of that Google search. And we've built a great looking product in our opinion, and it has a lot of similarities, ties in to that military feel. And one thing definitely is when you leave the military, you feel that you're leaving something that you're part of. So we try and really welcome people back in, our franchisees and our members alike, back into something that they can be part of. And when they come in to that environment and they realize that, look, we're not there to tell you what to do. We're not there to boss you around. We're not there to manage you. We're there to help you. We're there to lead you if you need that. And we're there to assist you. And we genuinely want to see you succeed with our product that we put on a tray for you or a plate for you. And I think when people see that approach and they come in, they're a lot more relaxed. And I believe that if you truly own something, you love it a little bit more than if it's somebody else's. So we really try and make them feel like, look, this is yours. You own this. Battle Bootcamp is not us. Battle Bootcamp is all of us. Battle Bootcamp is you. Battle Bootcamp are your members. So, you go out there and Battle Bootcamp is yours. So you go and do with it. If you have any suggestions, you have anything that you think you want to change, you have anything that you think you want to try in your venue, come and talk to us, and we're all ears. We will do that. We will make those changes. If somebody wants to take a specific marketing approach, they want to offer a specific offer for their venues to try and get leads in, then we will work with them, and we'll really let people lead on that. And if it works for them, then it's going to work across the rest of the business, we hope, or at least we'll try, So I think just letting people own something and love something and run with it a little bit and have plenty of say in how things happen. I think that's how we have managed to build that culture and sort of build that teamwork ethic around that thinking.
Yeah, well, that's lovely because, franchisees are going to be in different places. You can't come together very often. How do you build that culture? And I love that phrase that you said, well, you own it. Yeah. You'll then love it a bit more. This is yours. Yeah. Yes, there are rules and structures around it that we want you to follow because we know you'll be successful if you do that. They're not there because we dictate them. We're using it because it will be successful for you. And then encouraging that feedback and growth from your franchisees, that's absolutely brilliant, and actually that's a model for employing people as well, isn't it? Really, it's not just about franchisees, but giving people an area to look after, to have responsibility for. You own this in the business. Give them the chance to love it and do it, and then get that feedback to grow. Not just franchises, but for any employment. So wow, that was brilliant, Mark. Thank you for that. That was really, really lovely. Businesses grow, you start building structures, but in order to grow, cash is king. Yeah, management of cash. How do you go about within your business to manage cash, and how do you help your franchisees think about managing and organizing cash?
Yeah. Okay. So I think we really just try and invest back into the franchisees. The things, the percentage that they pay into the business, we don't then just throw that up the wall. We don't just, we really try and focus on, look, where can we best spend this money? How do we best spend this money? Where will it best return us what we need to do? And I think one of the first things that we really recognized was the need to build an automated back end system. In order to do that, you need to invest in, certain apps and certain and purchase certain tools that allow you to build an automated back end system that will then return the leads with very little work. A lot of this stuff goes on behind the scenes while you're in bed at night or wherever that is, and then we get those, we get the return off that in terms of leads. And in terms of leads, we then follow up with the leads and try and make the sales. If we make sales, you have more members in your venue. If you have more members in your venue, that's more money that you're paying back into the franchise. And then, that process starts again. So I think really focusing on the tools that we needed to buy in the first instance was important. And then one of the things that I really am quite passionate about is outdoor fitness, where our franchisees predominantly start before they venture indoors, is really a summer gig. It's great in the summer when the sun's shining and the floor's firm, and there's a great feeling, there's a great community feel. You're under the sun, and it's a great Thursday evening, and the sun's setting in the distance. It's just a great place to be. But when it's raining or the weather's not so great and the ground is not so great, then it's quite a tough thing to deliver, and retention is a massive part of the business, especially outdoor fitness. So one of the things that I really try and drill down on is the delivery of the product. So, let's make the product great. Let's deliver it in the way it should be delivered. And then let's retain our members through the winter. So that sort of investment into training and into kit, we throw back into the franchisees. We've made contacts both in UK and abroad. We have lots of deals with kit providers. So we source all of that kit at a great price, loan it to the franchisees, and they pay that back over a slow time. But what that allows them then to do is deliver a product that falls in line with the way we'd like it delivered. And we find that, stop trying to fill the bucket up. Let's repair the holes within the bucket and stop the water leaking in the first instance. So I think that retention is key. Is key to growth, and I think if we're really focused on what I said, we're really focused on the tools to allow us things to happen in the background without us doing anything, which then freed up a lot of our time in order to then focus on how we can best help the venues operationally in order for them to deliver a product that just sort of keeps that financial churn going.
I love that. Yeah, retention is the key to growth. Absolutely. Yeah. Stop the bucket from leaking. Yes, brilliant. And your passion to actually it comes across, the reinvestment in your franchisees, helping them to be more successful. I mean, so you run your own venue. Does your business partner run that with you, or does he run his venue? So are you using that as your testing ground or experimental ground? What do you do then within the franchise network at this moment in time?
Yeah, again, so my own income, my own personal income is that I run the venues here in Cheltenham. I have 3 venues here in Cheltenham, and I oversee and deliver the fitness sessions myself. I think being on the ground, delivering the product is a key to be able to guide people into delivering the product, because it's an ever changing sort of landscape within the fitness world, as within many businesses. There's always something new coming out in the fitness world. There's always some new fad or some new diet, some new fitness approach. So yeah, just trying to stay on the crest of the wave and just trying to stay at the forefront of all of that. I deliver all of the sessions here in Cheltenham. I look after the venues here in Cheltenham, and that's for myself. And then behind the scenes for Battle Bootcamp, we myself and my business partner split our main tasks out, and he looks after all of the financial side, and all of the marketing side and all of the website. And my skill set that I sort of learned in the background was social media, video photography, creativity along those lines, operational as well, and product delivery as well. So.
Wow, what a great set of tools that you've already mentioned multiple times. So that's brilliant. And I love that you're still doing it yourself. You're on the ground. You're doing it, learning it, improving it, developing it, etc. And that's so important. Absolutely. And you've mentioned it a few times now about automation, about generating a system of leads while you sleep. You've now mentioned social media a number of times. So what if I may, what's been successful for you, as a business for bringing those leads in?
I think social media marketing is key. A couple of years back when Apple changed a few of their rules around privacy, that really that really upped the price on cost per lead or click per lead, if you like. But I think our biggest driver has always been social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram. We're just looking into TikTok marketing as we speak, and we also do corporate stuff as well. So we use predominantly LinkedIn for our corporate stuff, and actually here in Cheltenham, we every summer, throughout the summer, we look after the fitness of a big veteran community within the GE establishment. So that's quite interesting as well. We did that last year, and we're hoping to pick it up again this year, and we're just in talks with providing that as well. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, social media marketing has been key. Word of mouth obviously is always there, but yeah. But social media marketing is for us is king, really.
And is this the level of sort of automation you're talking about? Building pictures, videos, scheduling it in advance. Building that type of structure. Do you do that then for all of your franchisees, or do they have to do themselves? How does that work?
No, so what we do with our marketing, we use the Facebook Business Suite, and we create. I will create all the videos for the campaigns. I'll pass them over to Gary, and Gary will create a campaign within the Facebook ad suite, and then we will just push them out to each of the venue areas. So we'll normally target each area geographically. We'll assign a financial figure per month to each venue, and we will push out the ads. We really try and look at, we have a lot of data based around the best time to market and the best time not to push out those social media ads. And obviously anything that you can get organically, or anything that you can put out that's sort of evergreen content, it just keeps getting pushed out, and you just keep getting leads. I think email addresses, whatever that is, then that's great. But yeah, generally we will push out at key times throughout the year, we will push out social media marketing campaigns, and we will target those geographically for the venues. One thing that we've learned along the way was that people will generally travel about 17 minutes to a fitness venue. That's a very average sort of number. So, you know, we look at that 17 minutes and then what's the geographical boundary around Cheltenham, for instance, and that's normally around 10 kilometres. So we will target everybody within 10 kilometres of a specific area of Cheltenham, targeting them based on their likes. We'll look at an audience type, we'll create an audience type, and we'll base it all on that.
Wow. Masterclass in marketing. Thank you, Mark. That's awesome. So a few final sort of questions now. If I was to give you a magic wand, what one thing would you change in your industry that frustrates you?
Misinformation, I think. Yeah, definitely. I suppose we've all seen it on social media with influencers and the fitness industry. There's a lot of vulnerable people that you could potentially target out there that know very little about fitness. And one of my key passions is seeing other people do well. If I see other people do well and I've had just a little part in that, that really gives me my kicks. It's just seeing other people progress, do well, be proud of themselves, and like I say, if I have a little part in that, then I am that really gives me my sort of kicks, if you like. But when I see people get sold misinformation and things that could potentially cause them to go off, lose a bit of money searching for something that could be easily given to them. If I could do this for free, I would do it for free. That's what I really think. So yeah, I think if I could change anything, it would be misinformation, and it's too easy for uninformed people to give information to vulnerable people or not vulnerable people out to the masses. So yeah, I don't really like that.
Thank you. And thinking about a business now, if you could meet, a really successful business owner, someone you could think about maybe in the franchising world or whatever. So thinking about someone that you have in mind, what one question do you think you would ask them if you had that chance of 5 minutes? What one question would you ask them and why?
You know what, Granger, I'm really going to scupper that question for you. I'm really sorry about this. I have a IPT, a billionaire, and I have got to ask. I've been fortunate enough to be able to ask him quite a few questions along these lines, and yeah, and one of the I suppose I'm trying to think of some of the questions that I have asked him that I've been really surprised with, and one of the questions that I have asked him, or one of the pieces of information that he's given me, is to make the people around you care about what they do. And the way you make people around you care about what they do is to give them autonomy.
Yeah.
Let them fail. Let them know it's okay to fail. And instead of them hitting the floor, catch them before they do hit the floor.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic piece of advice. Totally agree with that.
So yeah, I'm sorry, it's not really a question that I got asked, but just more that information was just passed to me, and I really enjoyed that.
There you go. There you go. So let's aim to meet up in 5 years' time and have a coffee face to face rather than over Zoom. Let's talk about the last 5 years that's taken place. So where do you want to be in the next 5 years, both professionally and personally?
Again, I think for myself, money has never been a driver for me. Granger, never been a driver for me, but more so just being happy with what I do. And I think if we could have or help more people, that's what I would strive to want to achieve over 5 years, is to not only help people with their fitness, wellness, and nutrition, but to help the people that, our franchisees, venue owners, try and bring more on board and let other people live a life that they control.
Wow, Mark, that's a really beautiful, summary. That is your passion, isn't it? And that comes through completely. Whether you were born with that, whether that's come through your time in the army and everything else, but that really rings through the whole conversation. Yes, you're a fitness provider, but you're about building that whole person ability, both in fitness and nutrition, but also strategies for coping, yeah, and helping your clients achieve that roundness, that strength. And you even talked about the ability from your experience of working being confined, and the difficulties that we had during COVID, and giving that to your clients to be able to help to do that. Then building a franchise and designing to build a franchise rather than just an expanding business model, and the difficulties you've had around selecting the right people and how you've improved that. But the real focus between you and your business partner is splitting key roles, having that structure that has both driven you forwards and made you grow, and building all the requirements that a good franchisee would need, all the automations in the background, the elements that they would need to be able to take their businesses forwards. And what really struck home with me is that wonderful thing that you said, that you want them to own it, because if they own it, they love it. And actually, you could do that in any part of a business. But in order to do that, you've got to be courageous. You've got to be able to go for it and realize that, sometimes risks are risks. You've got to move forward and develop that progress. And you talked about progress being what you're about, helping people move forwards in life, achieve more, whether that's your clients, whether that's your franchisees, or whether that's anybody that's involved to do that. So it's been a fantastic conversation and some wonderful thoughts around marketing as well. So I invite everybody to go back to those elements and listen to those again. So thank you so much, Mark. We always finish with a quick fire round, if I may. So let's hit these ones off. If you were to go back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
Get an education. Don't be so eager to leave school. Get an education.
Brilliant. Books? Any books you recommend?
Yes. How to Have a Good Day by Caroline Webb. It's the essential toolkit for productive day, work, and beyond. And again, that was recommended to me by one of my people on the IPT. So it's a great book as well. Great book.
Brilliant. Any podcasts you listen to, do you recommend?
Science of Sport podcast. If you want to know anything about fitness, I think that's a great podcast.
Brilliant. Onto your phone. Any apps that make a difference for you?
So obviously all of the social media sort of business apps behind the scenes, you could get the Facebook Meta Business Suite. I use that quite a lot when I'm on the go. So that's needed. But in terms of fitness wise, for tracking your sleep, your everyday progress, there's an app called Athletic, and it's spelt in a I'm just going to get the spelling for you. It's spelled ATHLYTIC. ATHLYTIC. And the information that gives you and the feedback that gives you is really great. It gives you your variability, your heart rate variabilities, HRV, which is one of the new sort of break-in key metrics that you need to look for your health and fitness, and whether that's up or down. It's basically the split time between your heartbeat. It's not a rhythmic thing, and the gap between your heartbeat tells us a lot about our current state. So that's a great thing to look at, and Athletic does all of that for you. So you normally would pay quite a bit of money to get apps like this, and this is quite a cheap yearly payment for great analytics, $24.99 a month. I'm not any part of them, by the way.
Oh, brilliant. No, that's really good advice. Thank you so much for that. My favorite question of all, who's had the most influence on you as a business leader?
I think my business partner has had the most influence on me as a business leader. I think he was a little bit more experienced. Again, what was quite tough for me coming out of the military, leaving at the pinnacle of every soldier's career, as I mentioned, as a regimental sergeant major, and coming into Civic Street and then working with people that had previously been in the military but not quite reached the dizzy heights, if you like, that I had reached. It was quite difficult for me to come down off my ego a little bit and listen to what they'd got to say. And Gary definitely helped me achieve that, just by being great at what he does, really.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark. Had a fantastic conversation today. Final question of all is, how can people get hold of you?
The best way people can get hold of me is just by going to www.battlebootcamp.co.uk, but they can also email me at mark@battlebootcamp.co.uk. That's it's really easy to remember. And if all else fails, just go to Google, type in Battle Bootcamp, and we'll come to the top of the search there.
Brilliant. Well, Mark, thank you much for this great conversation. It's been fascinating to listen to your journey and really get to understand you and how you bring amazing times to other people. So thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me, Granger. It's really, really nice to speak to you, and thank you for making everything so easy and so comfortable for me. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.